Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. I'm your host, Geovanna Burgess White, with my co-host,
Yvette Valdenegro. Hello.
and we're so excited this will be in Women's History Month. This is part 3 of our 4-part mini-series, and today we're going to talk about women's self and mental health. And we just have some statistics and some talking points that we want to go over with you today. Before we get started, though, we'll talk about our sponsor. We are being sponsored by the YGC Collective. We are hosting our very first conference on August 19th and 20th. We're the first time we're going to bring women-led organizations coming together on 5 different stages, 10 different talking points, and really just here to serve you for any woman, any season in life. So you can find out more information wherever you're watching or listening. So let's get started.
Woohoo! All right. This month has been really fun, which I have to laugh at myself every time. It's like the world just keeps opening up. Yvette's mind keeps changing. And I know, 4 years ago, if you would have said we're going to do a whole series on Women's International Women's Month, I would have been like, why? Oh my God. And now I'm like, the more we coach, the more we do what we do, the more I just fall in love with I hate to say women, but women. And just the whole thing, the history, our world. It's like, gosh, there's been so many things. I actually was listening to the radio, I think it was earlier today, but saying how in 1975, how things were so much different for women in business. And there wasn't no such thing as networking and women being on their own. And you fast forward all the way till now, and you just think there's so many women who have done amazing things and opened the doors for all of us. And we all should be forever grateful. And there are women right now who are doing what we would think are seemingly small things. And there are women who are doing amazing things. And some of those women we talked about in our last episode. But if we all take the responsibility to think through, what am I as a woman doing for the next woman next to me or behind me, then imagine what this world would be like moving forward. And this episode we've dedicated to what they're claiming and saying is 2024 for the woman is all about self and mental health. Because when they do the statistics of what's on women's minds right now for themselves, it's these 3 things: mental health, the hormones, and then healthcare sustainability, which is super, super, super important. So we wanted to continue in light of this being International Women's Month. These are the initiatives that are on women's minds.
Yeah, it's almost like the evolution of women. Because like you said, years ago, you've been like, we're not going to do a series on that. And I'm like, yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
So
no other option.
I'm going to read the definition of mental health. Mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. It is an integral component of health and well-being that underpins our individual and collective abilities to make decisions, build relationships, and shape the world we live in. Mental health is a basic human right, and it is crucial to personal, community, and socioeconomic development.
So that's the definition is from the WHO. Yes. Okay. When I read this, I'm not going to lie, because I just love how even the world of mental health is changing. Again, 5 years ago, I think if people said mental health, it was more like, oh, someone who has problems, they go to a psychiatrist, a therapist, whatever. Our concept of what mental health was back then has completely transformed. When you read this definition, this is every single living and breathing person on this planet. It includes everybody. Everybody has some form of mental health, whether you think that you're doing well or you're not. And it doesn't just influence you, but it influences everyone around you.
Yeah, we last week we got to talk a little bit with one of our sponsors from RT, and she was, we were talking about statistics with women in mental health and young women in mental health and how much that's changed and how it's actually really important for everyone to have a therapist or have a counselor where, like you said before, it would have been like, oh, almost like you were judging someone, like something was wrong. And now it's actually, you need to have that because, just with the definition in itself, like everyone, it's a human right. And I love that not only are we as women talking more about it, but even in the workplace, you're seeing a lot of people talk about it, and that's really, really important. So love
It's
that.
crazy you just say that because someone I was just talking to at a networking group was saying that they now very much consistently go to um, a mental health in different realms because she goes, it is now included in her pay package with her job. And so she said they get 5 sessions for every what she was calling a problem. So she goes, believe me, I'll come up with some problems. And then it gets taken care of. But I'm like, I love that her company is now advanced to the year 2022, that she can now go to a mental health professional of
24.
all types.
We're in 24.
24, sorry, that she can go to a mental or she can meet with someone, and that, as she says, it's helped her with her personal issues or things that she's going through, but has 100% affected her performance at work, and she's doing better.
Yep.
Which is a win-win for everybody.
It's important, I think, and again, it's like it's accepted now more before it wasn't, and it's being talked about. And for some people in some cultures, I mean, that's also makes a huge difference. Like just getting education around what's available and what's resources are free. I mean, that's super important. We did that at the Giving Gown, and I think that's helped a lot of the young women, especially with the statistics being so high, with getting help, even if it's virtually. So
yeah. Okay.
We're gonna move into.
We're gonna move on to hormones.
Yeah.
Woo! I feel like we could just do one segment. We could do a Geo's version of hormone balance and Yvette's version of hormone balance and have our own little session. But okay. I think personally, the reason why I think this is the year of people really the attention more to this is because there's an initiative that they just passed, and it for the government, and they are definitely more involved, and it's being pushed not only to fund the research, the doctors, the labs, the students, everybody, to help just the entire aspect of hormones, which, by the way, men take hormones too. It's not just for women, and people with different health issues take hormones. So it's just it's a broader picture than just what we think of as like, here's the stereotype. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. Oh my God, your hormones are going to go crazy, girl. You're going to feel this way. You're going to be in bed. You're going to be vomiting. That is or you get your menstrual cycle when you're a young woman. Then all of a sudden you just think, oh my gosh, my world's coming to an end because of how I feel. There's so much more beyond just what we think or what we were taught about hormones. Okay, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the why. Why is having your hormones balanced so important? One, your quality of life. Let's just be real. When you're not feeling well, and it doesn't really matter what illness or sickness you have, it really does affect your quality of life. So the more research we put into it, then obviously everybody's going to be doing a lot better, and the mood swings or whatever it is not going to be affecting us. Fertility and family planning. This affects more people than we realize because this is a very difficult subject for a lot of couples to talk about. And I don't know if you've ever been anywhere where someone just brings up just hormonal treatments or infertility or whatever. People just start welling up inside because it's such a desire that they have, that they want, but something's going on in their body that may be out of balance, that they can't have children. But the more research that we put into it, then hopefully there won't be, those issues, or then the more opportunity for people to have the families that they wanted. Then mental well-being. Obviously, we've heard all the negativity that goes around that. And yes, if it gets balanced out, then yes, it helps you feel better. And from what I've been told, it's just this feeling you have inside, and it's almost like you're walking around with foggy glasses versus it comes off and you see things in a lot more clear ability. Mm-hmm. Okay, weight management. This is a huge one. I think any woman who is 50 and above, once you go through all these things, your body changes. It literally does. There's obviously the hormone, the signals go out, your body starts to change, bone density, your muscles, obviously the hormones, your skin, your elasticity, all your hair, everything starts to change. And those are the signals that are coming from those hormones. And it is, especially, okay, let's just be real. We live in a world where we are so judged within the 10 seconds that someone meets us based on what we look like. And
Yeah.
if that is part of our weight or that's become a problem, or better yet, if we just don't like what's going on because we can't do anything about it. If there's something going on up here that you cannot, no matter what, you can work out 24/7, you can starve yourself to death, which are all super unhealthy, when really there's something chemically that's not going, the connectors are not happening in your brain. That's not your fault. But unfortunately, what makes me so frustrated sometimes is that people judge other people based on what they see, and they just make these assumptions about, oh, you must be lazy because you're overweight.
Yep.
You don't know that person's life or lifestyle or what they've gone through.
Yeah, it's so important. And all of these also do it also crazy. It revolves around money too. A lot of times people don't feel like they can have, like, IVF is expensive. People don't realize that there's free resources for mental health. Like, yes, there's ways to eat healthy and be healthy, but we don't get taught this at a young age. I mean, we're talking about this and both of us are 40 and up. And the fact that it's 2024 and this is what we're focusing on this year. I mean, it if we would be taught this at a younger age and understand, and also, like you said, the government's getting involved with this, but if this would be part of just checking our hormones when we go to the doctor, we wouldn't be having all of these issues. We would be better educated, and then we would know what we should be doing either to prevent or to have a healthier lifestyle. So again, we're not doctors. We're just hoping that this helps you understand that there's tools and resources out there, but there is a huge um, kind of like shift in mindset and how you should be really educating yourself around this. So we hope that that kind of helped. But I get you. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what's happening, and these are just for the things that we were talking about today. So, all right, we're gonna go through this one.
Yeah, hormone balance trends. Okay, these are just things that hopefully, again, I'm going to go through these really quickly because I hope that it just really, if you're listening, that just stirs. I mean, you know what? I haven't been feeling right. I do feel so. These are some trends that maybe might help you. Okay, number one, personalized hormonal therapy. Because guess what? I'm not Geo. Geo's not me, and I'm not my neighbor, and I'm not the person sitting next to me. I have my own DNA and my own makeup that's personalized for me. So the concept of getting that kind of therapy is getting more and more popular, thank God.
Yes.
A holistic approach. So there's a lot of people out there too that are like, I don't want to take something that's artificial and put it into my body. They want to do the holistic. Are there foods and something else that is whole that I can put into my body that's going to help rejuvenate myself? And there are. So if you are someone who's like, hey, listen, I don't want to go down the medical part of it, but I do want to take the approach of being more holistic to myself, there are things. Dietary advancements. I love the fact that nutrition really does play a huge part, and it's even food combinations. If you eat this with this, based on your blood type or based on what you do, for how are you sitting all day, are you standing all day, like there are wonderful nutritionists out there that can really help you put together some things that are going to benefit you better. Gut health. I am not kidding you when I say this. I don't think I even learned about gut health until I think my mom reached probably around 60. And then she went to Costco and bought the bulk version of the probiotics. And I was like,
What's happening?
who is taking this? And she went and explained this whole thing about how your gut health is so important. And I was like, what? But it's so true. Because if your gut isn't healthy, then you've got all these toxins, and those toxins goes into your body. And it's the same thing for your hormones. Your gut needs to be healthy to producing them, all the things to make you the healthiest version of yourself. Totally makes sense. But again, education. I had no idea. And now, yes, I take probiotics, but no one ever taught me that until I saw my mom doing it. Okay. Stress reduction. I love this because it goes back to everything that we always talk about. When you feel unbalanced and you're stressed out, that does affect your cortisol and your hormones inside of your body. And you can be like stressed high and then just crash and up. And you are doing something internally inside your body, and it does affect you. So anything you can do to help reduce your own personal stress, work, family, partners, situations, money, whatever it is, you're actually really helping your internal system as well. And then the last one, hormone testing. I just think, like you mentioned this earlier, it's, when you go to the dentist, it's, oh, you put the little things in, they do the x-rays for your teeth just to make sure, like, how are your roots and your teeth, and do you have any cavities, all that kind of stuff. When you go to the doctor, you have to ask, will you do a blood work? Will you do hormonal things? They don't just offer that unless there's something majorly wrong.
Yeah, it's
Or you,
until something's wrong, then they do that, and I think that that's where we're, like, backwards. I'm like, we don't know all of this. We don't get taught about this, and and then sometimes it's just too late. Like, it should just
Mhm.
be part of, and that goes back to the last slide with, like, even fertility issues. Like, you could know that at a younger age if this was just part of going to the doctor. And I think that's where your voice matters. When something doesn't feel right, you need to use your voice and tell your doctor. And holistic approach, I love that we have this in here, because that is a huge thing, and it's not going anywhere. And we're in Houston, so we're super blessed to be in a place where there's so many holistic doctors and centers that you can really go that route, and it treats for hormones as well. So again, do your homework. This is just us coming out, having this conversation so that you can be educated and take the time to really research and do what you need to do best for you. But this is all part of self and all part of health. And like Yvette said earlier, we don't want to wait till something's wrong to go get all this stuff checked out. We even for our conference are going to have a whole health like conversations around health, because we don't have it. We've never really sat at a conference and talked about women's health and what does that really mean, and not just mental health. So I think it's important that this is kind of just like a little feeler to get out there, and with the topics and the points that we gave, go back and do some research and get some education on it.
Yes, and if you're listening and you know someone who's on the cutting edge of all of these things and they're willing to stand up in a group of women, that is the person we need. The person who knows these are the advancements, this is what we're working towards, this is what's out there, this is what you could ask your doctor that they don't tell you, or these are some of the holistic things that they're not sharing. Because I get that before they can release it to the general population, they have to go through a bunch of testing, but sometimes that takes too long.
Yeah.
And, the resources need to get in people's hands now, not waiting 10
Yeah.
more years. Yeah, which leads us to, like I said earlier in the beginning, we were talking, the White House has just pushed the initiative to get more funding. But here's a horrible statistic. Out of all the venture capital money that's out there, so that goes from like small businesses, large businesses, people who are the startups, and people coming together to put their resources to make things happen, only 5% of venture capital is going towards women's health in general. Now, I know I always talk about this, but I just want to throw this out there for anybody else who's interested. When you say 5% of women's health initiative, right? Part of that women's health initiative is what you see politically right now with the downfall of women having the choice in their body for what they want to do when they're pregnant. 5%. So it's going to be an uphill battle if you are someone who believes that women should have their voice and a place. Then maybe consider that this is somewhere where you could put your money where your mouth is, because there is going to need to be more funding to help all aspects of women's health.
Yep. All right. We're going to leave you with this quote. Embracing the sanctuary of our minds, we arm ourselves with the strength to navigate life's trials with unwavering resilience and the elegance of grace. We hope that you've enjoyed the third part of our International Women's Month mini-series. We'll be back next week to close it out. And then we have so many amazing things coming in April. We are so thankful that you watch us every single week, listen to us every single week. We are exclusively now on Spotify, and you can interact with us there. There's a Q&A feature and a poll feature, so make sure that you interact. Let us know how you liked our episode, and if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, let us know what topics you want to hear, because we're here for you. So until next week.